Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to a first impressions of Dovetail Games Flight Sim World. So as this video is going live, it is just seconds, just minutes, or hopefully just minutes ago, it has now become available for download on Steam for all of you guys who may have pre-purchased. Now, this is going to be my first impressions video. First impressions of the release version. So now I just want to get started here with a few things I want to sort of declare here. So let's get started with the first one. So first off, I want to say thank you very much to the guys over at Dovetail Games for providing me with a copy of Flight Sim World. Now, I have had access to a pre-release version of this title for about a week now, and already I've seen quite a few changes come forward to the version that I'm actually going to be recording here. Which, as I said, I'm recording it just hours before the go live, so this is the same version that you guys will all be flying very, very shortly. But I do want to remind everybody that this is coming in as an early access title, so we are going to expect bugs. There are things that are not finished about this sim, there are things that are not done yet, there are things that I was expecting to have been taken care of before we got to this point, which are still not work in progress. So let's just all keep that in mind, please, before we go there to go sort of slating and judging and all the rest of it. That as I said, this is an early access product, so we are all getting access. We're all going to be shaping the future of our flight simulation here. So let's take the opportunity that Dovetail are giving us to actually work together with Dovetail to actually get the sim that we all want to have. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing, of course, is that that Dovetail Games did get the license from Microsoft to develop develop their sims based on Microsoft Flight Simulator technology, i.e. this is going to be using code, like it does have a lot of underpinning code here, and there will be a lot of things here familiar to those who've been flying in FSX for a while, and also for some of the more astute people, there will be some stuff in there from Flight as well. But anyway, so let's get started. So first thing here, so we are here at the home page, the initial home page once you've logged into Flight Sim World. We're going to go through here, we're going to go through all the basic stuff here. So the initial welcome here. You've got your three sort of quick launch buttons, as it were. You can continue on with any training that you might have started with yet. You can continue, you can jump into a suggested mission, which is available here. There are quite a few missions here in this one. Or you can actually just jump into doing a free flight. So that's the ones that are available here from the shortcut menu here. Alright, so, but we're going to go across here, focus across the stuff along the top here first, just to have a look. Alright, so obviously we are at the home tab at the moment. Settings. Now, settings is going to be very, very familiar to anybody who has been mucked around in Dovetail Games early release Flight School, and almost as familiar to anybody who's ever flown in FSX and P3D. So we're going to start here. So basically we're going to do the general ones. So it goes through, you can choose the different pilot voices that you can choose to have. I'm just running with a default one here. Units of measurement, so feet, millibars, or feet and inches, or meters and millibars. So again, just one of those things depending on where you are in the world. My area is a hybrid system, so that's the one that I use. Display. So display is, oh sorry, go back to, because I know a lot of people do ask about ATC. We will see that a bit more once we get into some of the free flight that I'm going to show off here shortly. But the ATC is using a upgraded version of the voice and sort of voice to text or speech text to voice engine that we saw sort of make its initial debut as part of Flight School. So that's for that one. Alright, in display, so standard, pretty much usual stuff. Now, the multi-monitor cockpit, that is pretty cool. It does work really, really well, but you will take a frame hit, just FYI on that one. But for those who do have multiple monitors, it's built in out of the box. It just works. Really, really cool to see. Really impressed by that. So yes, that is available. It does work very effectively. I like flying with it on. Unfortunately, I can't record with it on. But anyway, Alright, otherwise, as I said, very simple basic things. I'm not going to go through here too much. Just adjust these sliders to your system is how I'm going to say it. Remember, it's always about having a balanced setup and a balanced system. Otherwise, it's all pretty much the stuff that we're familiar with and common with for that one. The last one, the one that's new, is enabling windscreen raindrops. So yes, that is the graphical inclusion, the graphical and physics inclusion that we get. That's sort of like made a return to flight simulation. Is dynamic raindrops with this one as well. So that's really cool to see, and we'll see that again in free flight shortly. Again, not going to go through this too much here, guys. This is all pretty basic stuff. So audio devices, yep, that's fine. Controls, again, controls you will find very, very similar. Now, again, possibly my first little bit of frustration point here, and something that we will hopefully see change as we go along for the various developments here, is that it is all exactly as it was as the FSX and P3D. We haven't seen anything change. Nothing's really gone through to change beyond that. Now, it is quite annoying. We're not seeing things like that we all wanted for being able to assign multiple throttles, so multiple axes to a single physical axis. We don't have that. There's a lot of stuff here that for those of us who've been using FSU IPC for a while, it's not here, and FSU IPC obviously is not compatible with this sim, so that is a bit frustrating. But again, this is going to be our opportunity to provide this feedback to Dovetail as a developer, the things that we want to see in the future. So bear that in mind when you are going through here. But otherwise, it is the same basic setup. You go through, click change assignment, move the joystick button that you want to do, and you're good to go. Alright, now just a word of the caution as well with null zones. Make sure with throttles, make sure you set your null zones to 0, otherwise you will not have full axis range, just so you're aware. Alright, again, guys, for anybody who's ever flown in FSX or P3D, you will find this very, very familiar. This hasn't really changed too much. There you go. Alright, profile. When you first jump into Flight Sim World, it will ask you to sort of set up your pilot details. You put your name in here, you choose your country, you choose your home airport. Not going to go through that. As I said, it's quick and simple, but it is a really kind of really cool thing where you can actually put your actual home local airport in here, which is really cool. And of course the credits page where we see all the team that have worked on this so far, and of course we will no doubt see this list grow as the development continues of Flight Sim World. Alright, moving along the top here, next one is pilot profile. So the pilot profile is much what that we saw, something that we saw really established as part of flight school, where you'll actually go through and see your different license types as you go through. You can actually sort of see those. You can see how much solo flight time you've done, and as you do the lessons and you work towards your actual license and your check rides. Missions, you go through here, all the different missions that are that ship with Flight Sim World, and of course ones that will be added into the future as well. It goes through and shows all your completed ones and ones that you still need to work on. And stats are pretty much just basically a logbook kind of deal, which includes also Steam achievements. Yes, there are Steamworks Steam achievements built into Flight Sim World. They are all available through here. You can go through, see the ones that you've unlocked, and you can see go through there. You've got a variety of different stats through here as well that you can go through, and different calculated times for the different aircraft that you've flown. Alright. Moving on with this one, so this one is going to be the store, which is still closed at the moment. As again, remember, a lot of this is early access, so a lot of these things are going to change, guys, but this is just some first quick looks at everything for you today. Alright, moving on to missions. There are a few new missions. So we saw that the missions from Flight School have made their reappearance in here. So we do have the ferry flights going across the Atlantic. We also have the at a stretch, icing conditions, and the adventure tours through Alaska. They're all here, but we also have a few more taxi runs. We've got some various different challenges of different aircraft to actually go through here, night missions, fast missions, and we've got an approach into Los Angeles. So expect these missions to a few more to develop as we go on in time as well. But as I said, it's nice to see some improved versions of the missions that we've seen before in flight school, and some new missions coming through here. So good to see. Good to give a bit of challenges for everybody. Alright, training again. It's the 3 training schools that we saw in the final iteration of Dovetail Games Flight School, so they have made a reappearance. Now, these training lessons have been updated and redone. Now, there are some bugs that unfortunately have developed in these, so these are not... although they're all in there, they're not all working correctly, so that is a known issue that Dovetail are aware of. And again, as I said, this is an early access title. We're going to see bugs like this, so remember the guys to show your support, help the devs out, and so we can all get the sim that we want to see at the end of the day. So yes, there you go. But yes, as I said, I have got a video series of all the flight school missions from the original flight school, so you can go through and have a look at those if you need some tips at all. But I know that having some of the new features of this new sim are going to make some fairly significant changes to this as well. So you're going to see some more fun stuff coming through here. All right, but yes, for those who are not familiar with it, so the 3 flight schools is the Waltham Flying Club, which is the light aircraft pilot's license. Also known as the sports pilot's license in the US, or the recreational pilot's license in Australia, flying the Super Cub. We also then have Eagle Pilot School over in Arizona in Prescott, which is your private pilot's license, and then we have the Wings Flight Academy in Koblenz in Germany, which gives you the multi-engine rating as part of the Diamond DA42. Right, that summarizes that one. Alright, free flight. Of course, this is one of the things that we all want to do. Yes, you do have a globe of airports that you can choose from if you want to go wherever you want to go. So let's start with that. Alright, actually, we're gonna start at the bottom for this one, and then we're going to work our way up for this. Alright. A lot of people have hoped for having updated databases for airports, nav points and stuff like that. There have been some updates, however the entire globe has not been updated. So for example, just very simply, this airport here in Nogra, that didn't exist when FSX came out. So back in 2006, that airport had been closed for 10 years. Unfortunately, it's still in there. So the database is better. There are some airports, especially in the US and Europe, which were not in FSX, the FSX default database, but are there now. But unfortunately, it is still has not been fully updated globally yet. So this is something that Dovetail have committed to improving and building up for the future, but it is something that is not complete as yet. So I know there are a lot of viewers and a lot of people out there were hoping that have a global database update. Unfortunately, we haven't got all of it yet, but it is hopefully on its way. So yes, unfortunately that's that. Alright, in terms of flight planning, it works exactly the same as it did in flight school. So it's point to point. So you choose the airport that you want to go to, so you can either choose it from the map here, so you just slide around and find where you want to go. So sort of choose here, airport there, and then you draw the line out to where you want to go. And then if you want to say put a routing point in the way, you simply click and drag, and you can move there, adds a waypoint on there. So very quick, very simple way of doing some visual flight planning. What you can do, of course, as well, you can also type in the name of the airport or the ICAO of where you want to go. So for example, we'll pop in here, what should we put in here? Let's go put in ENSD. So Anada in Norway, Andar in Norway. Just put the airports there, so then it takes you over there, and then from there let the map load, and then from there, let's say that we want to go fly to. We'll go fly just over the ridge. We'll actually, we'll go for a bit of a flight. We'll go. Let's go over to here. Alright, there we go. Cool, done. And then we can add a little bit of a dog leg in there. Add another one through there. There you go. So, as I said, the flight planning tool, very quick, very simple, very easy to do, not a problem at all. Alright, once you've set your flight plan, click the little black arrow, there we go. Alright, weather conditions. there is no live weather. Straight up, no live weather. Am I okay with that? Yes, I am. That is something, again, as I said, this is early access. There's been no comment or commitment whether we're going to see live weather be maintained by the sim itself, or whether that's going to be something that's going to be left to third-party developers to bring to the table in the future. We don't know. Instead, what we've got is we've got a selection of themes that we can go through here. So we've got everything from, so we've got building storms, cold nights, fair weather, cold fronts, blah blah blah. So yep, pretty simple stuff. We can go through here, stormy weather. Yep. So we've got plenty of different options here. Now what you can also do is that you can also customize these as well. So if we choose, for example, here grey and rainy, what you can then do is you can click configures here, and then you can actually go through. Now again, a lot of these are unavailable at the moment. We're going to see these as the sim develops further in the future. For now, what we can do is we can change the time of day, so we can change it whether we want it dawn, day, dusk or night. Again, very familiar for anyone who's been flying FSX and P3D for a while before. Season, okay, I'm just going to say that this just bugs me. It says fall. Sorry, only one part of the world calls it fall. Everybody else calls it autumn. Just saying. So that should really have changed. But anyway, that's a personal preference. So you can change the season or change the date, time, all the kind of stuff through there. So very simple, very quick, all good. All conditions, you can actually go through, change your wind speed, clouds, precipitation, whatever you need to change for that. There you go. Or just leave it as the theme is set. Oh, that was the other thing. Again, something we're seeing here at the moment. Hopefully we'll see it developed in the future. The config button here for the airport doesn't work at the moment. So obviously this is something that eventually we will see active, so we'll actually be able to choose the parking spot and the starting runway for an airport. At the moment that feature is not available to us. Obviously, though, we can see that it's going to be coming, which is great news, because at the moment, as I said, it's the same as it was in flight school, which is it will just simply drop you at the lowest numeric, or the first sort of list of the runways available to you for the airport that you go to. So, can be a bit challenging depending on the weather theme that you select. So there you go. All right. Last but not least, the important stuff: aircraft. All right. So let's get something out of the way really quickly. Yes, it is only general aviation aircraft. Yes, it is only propeller driven aircraft. No, there are no jets. No, there are no airliners. No, there are no fighters or military aircraft. All that stuff is going to be coming down the track. Okay, guys? Don't stress. Okay? Don't freak out. Don't stress. Yeah, there's no helicopters, no jets, no tube liners, you know, no fast military stuff. This is focusing on general aviation. Do I think that this is a good idea? Yes, I do. I understand that there are many virtual aviators out there who really want, who love their tube liners, who really want to get behind the controls of a 737 or an Airbus or an A380 or whatever. Can I just remind you all that in the real world, whether you're a helicopter pilot, whether you're a 380 pilot, a 747 pilot, a 777 pilot, a F-16 fighter jock, an F-14 pilot, whatever, you all started in something like this. You all started in something basic, in something simple, in something general aviation. So actually, I find it almost poetically perfect that Dovetail is launching their new sim, Flight Sim World, is as an early access title. Like, they could have just kept this development behind closed doors for the next however many months before it's ready. Instead, they're giving us a chance to get involved, and they're doing it by starting us out with aircraft that you would learn to fly in, and that's the ones they've started developing. So I think this is perfect. I think it's perfect. I know I can feel the hate and the comments coming already through the video. I already can. But you know what, guys? I'm going to stand by this. I think this is a good move. I think this is a great place for them to start, because at the end of the day, it's a solid foundation for moving on into other aircraft types. Just going to throw it out there. Alright, so let's go through these aircraft in a bit of detail, shall we? So as you can see, we've got 7 aircraft available to us. So we are starting, of course, with the 3 familiar ones from flight school, which is the PA-18 Super Cub, the PA-28 Cherokee, and the Diamond DA-42 Twin Star. So these 3 need no further introductions. These are the 3 that we are familiar with from flight school, with all their liveries have made a return. The other one that's come in from the Diamond stables is the Diamond DA-40 Diamond Star, so the original one, so very similar to the Twin Star, just with a single engine. And then of course we have additional 2 aircraft from the Piper stables, so we've got the PA-34 Seneca 5 and we've got the PA-46 Malibu Mirage, so 2 beautiful aircraft for that one there. We've also got the newcomer, and one that it really, I was excited to see RV-7A from my Microsoft flight days. Like, I'm so excited to see this back here. I love this aeroplane, I really do. So yes, really excited to see this aircraft in here. Now in terms of actually selecting the aircraft, so you can obviously, so this is the default landing page, sort of hover over it and give you some information there. What you can also do is you can sort by engine type, so whether it's a multi-engine piston or a single engine piston. Okay, what you can also do is sort by manufacturer, so we can see we've got our 3 sponsored, well, 3 officially licensed manufacturers at the moment, so Diamond, Piper and Vans, and sort by that. That one's obviously a category for future integration, I'm not sure what that's going to be. And then developers, so anything developed, obviously things just in-house by Dovetail at the moment, so there you go. Alright, so we removed all those filters back here. Alright, what shall we fly first? You know what, we should probably fly. You know what, we're gonna jump in the Seneca for now. I quite like the Seneca. Alright, once you've chosen your aircraft, what you can then do is you can go into here in the configs. Now what the configs allow you to do, you can do some quick edits, or you can get into a bit more detail with it. So the first page just gives you your basic summaries, it gives you information. Then you've got your quick edits here, so you can change your fuel levels, payloads, and whether you want failures on or not. So you can sort of do sort of generic sliders there. Just go, yep, cool, done. Payload, so everything from empty, pilot only, crew, low, passengers, full. There you go, done. And whether you want how badly you want to see if you can fail your aircraft and stuff like that. So there you go. You can get it more specific with it as well, just by going into these tabs here. So fuel, you can adjust how much goes into each of the fuel tanks. Payload, you can adjust where the actual payload goes into the aircraft. Failures, you can arm various different failures. So you've got your various different instruments, you can go through here. Systems, communications, and you basically go through all your different categories through there as well. Again, very similar and pretty much the same setup as we've seen previously in FSX, just laid out a little differently. So if you do want to arm and set some failures, you can do that. So it's all built in out of the box, guys. Alright, and finally is liveries. So this is where you'll see your different liveries for your different aircraft will come in. Most of these aircraft, okay, well actually all the new aircraft are shipping with just 1 livery. The only aircraft that are getting multiple liveries are the ones from the original flight school, which already shipped with their multiple liveries. So no additional liveries from for those aircraft, just the ones that were available in flight school. So yes, there you go. So yeah, that's free flight. Now you do have additional tabs here, so you can save this one here, you can save this flight here. You can quickly reset it, but clear everything and go back to the beginning, or you can load a previously saved flight or flight plan in from there as well. So very quick, very simple, very easy, guys. Not a lot to it. Alright, lastly, along the last 2 tabs here before we're going to go take this flight, you've got the multiplayers tab. So multiplayer there are known issues with it at the moment. So it is intermittently working. I'm sure there will be a few servers available once as this title goes live. But Dovetail have already acknowledged that there are a few issues with it kicking around at the moment, so just beware of that. They are working towards fixing that definitely sooner rather than later. So you can see any servers are available. You can create your own one if you want to as well. Again, very... and that sort of goes, and that just brings up your Steam friends list. So there you go. So yes, as I said, multiplayer. It's available, but it's not working to Flash at the moment. That's an official Dovetail thing. They are working on it. It's going to be one of their things they're going to fix very shortly after release. There you go. Final tab is Dovetail Live, which is basically just their sort of like online information registering thing. You could, when you first start the title, you'll be given an option of actually signing up, or you can skip it if you want. It's up to you. Yeah, it's all kind of cool, kind of interesting. There doesn't seem to be much to it at the moment, but I'm guessing this is where we'll see special deals and updates and things like that. So much like we saw for FSX and for Dovetail Games Flight School as well. So alright, I think you guys have had enough of me waffling on about the menus now. I think we should actually get in and get some flying done. So let's go and do that now. We're going to take our Piper Seneca up, we're going to go for a quick flight, and we're going to go through some of the things that I like and some of the things that I don't like about this initial release. Alright, let's get to it. As I said, very quick and simple, very easily planned. We saw how quickly we planned that. This is the one thing that I really hope gets fixed soon is the airports. I really do hope that gets fixed soon. Alright, and let's get started by clicking start. That's it. Very, very quick, very, very simple. It's kind of what I like it. It's how it should be. It's just straightforward. Simple and straightforward. I like it. I like it. Obviously, I've been very fairly strategic in actually sort of choosing the weather theme for this one, because I do want to show off some of the what I think are some of the good things, some of the really good things that we're seeing about the new sim, and some of the right direction that we're taking. And we're going to show off some of the high quality of the aircraft here as well. Now, of course, as I was saying before, is one of the things that I've actually had a bit of trouble with is actually working with camera controls and stuff like that. Because I'm used to having Chase Plane and Easy Dock, so I'm used to being able to control my cameras and all that kind of stuff. And of course, that's not around at the moment. It's just the default cameras, which I'm struggling to remember, not going to lie here, struggling to remember how to use those cameras. Alrighty, so once it loads, you load, as I said, again, very similar like we saw with Flight School. So you spawn in on the active runway. Well, you spawn in on the runway of the lowest number, which, as I said, it's still the bugbear. It's a bugbear I had with Flight School, and a bugbear I've got now with Flight Sim World. As I said, it looks like we can tell that it's in development, that we're going to see it changing, but for now, it's still not there. But anyway, alright, so you get loaded into sort of like a visual pause, almost like an active pause. So we've got that there. We sort of turn around, yep, cool, done. From here you can quickly have a look at your flight planner, otherwise pre-flight, and then we click start when we're ready to go. Alrighty, so here we are inside the aircraft. Alright, need to turn those off, they annoy me. Anyway, okay, so cockpits. Alright, yes, cockpits. Cockpits are amazing. They are awesome. These aircraft are incredibly detailed. They really are. Now, built into this sim is A2A's AccuFeel is built in, and it's been applied to all of the aircraft inbuilt. You can't adjust anything, you can't sort of change anything yourself, but yeah, it is built into all of the aircraft, which is really, really cool. And it's, you know, it's, as I said, it's a payway add-on that we sort of like, you know, a lot of us got used to flying with in F63, but it's now coming available out of the box. That's awesome. That's really cool. Alright, in terms of the cockpits here, as I said, these cockpits are pretty much fully functional. They are still working through a few things, but again, it is the cockpits that much of the equipment that we're used to seeing. But it's equipment that is suitable for the aircraft as well. Now, in terms of animations and stuff like that, so you do have some aircraft have their animations are finished, some they're still working on. So for example, we've got our door, our main door sort of here working there. There we go. I'll just be up there. So we've got that one. Now what we also have is we have a second door out the back here. Now, as I said, all good. Cool. Now we've got that. We see those open. Yep, cool. Now sometimes some of the animations will do a bit weird things, but what is really cool though is that the wind will actually have an impact on these doors. For example, if you're trying to open these doors into the slipstream, will actually not go well for anybody. It really doesn't. All right, let's button this one back up. Button you back up. Close the main door up there. And yes, this is modelled. Okay, it's the small things that amuse me, that I really like, but, you know, it's the kind of detail I really like going to. Alright, okay, enough of that. Enough of this tomfoolery. Alright, let's get into the aircraft. Alright, as I said, quite well done, quite real. Now we're going to need to make sure that we put some nav lights and stuff on. Alright. Get our lights on. There we go. Okay, good. Should have RD's prop heat on. Pitot heat, definitely going to need that in this kind of weather. Now we're going to change that to GPS. Okay. And we should be good. Let's walk on there. Is it systems wise, they're pretty solid. And again, I just love the rain graphically appearing on the windscreen. Now, what is also really cool as well, and hopefully this weather theme will actually demonstrate this. Also, the rain only happens when you're under the clouds. Once you get above the clouds, the rain stops, which is really cool. And previously, we needed things like Active Sky Next to be able to get that, achieve that, which is really cool that we got this. Alright, in the meantime, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Alright, so we're going to be taking off and turning out. Zoom that one out a little bit so we've got a bit more clearance. Let's see where we're going. Okay. Alright, on that note, we're looking good. Brakes on. As I said, the rain and the physics of the rain is very, very nice. That from what I can tell, very solid. At the moment, it actually models, like actually goes through the model correctly and actually sort of like rolls over the model in the right sort of shapes for the most part, which is just again really impressive. It's something that we've been missing from civilian flight simulators for quite some time. So it's great to actually sort of see it back now. It was really cool. So it's gonna go for a quick loop around here as we sort of gain a bit of altitude here. Now the scenery that we're looking at, of course, now it's using the vector information. The vector data hasn't changed, but what we do have now is this is making use of Orbix textures for the actual Orbix FTX global. So we do have the overall global textures are a bit more improved now. We are still going to get funky things like, for example, just what we're seeing there with sort of lights just sort of hanging in the air. We're still going to see some of those. Obviously, those aren't corrected as yet. Again, it's a work in progress, so we're going to see a lot of this stuff sort of develop as time goes on. Just feeling the wind and the rain just sort of buffeting this aircraft here is kind of cool, and shaking the camera around a bit, which is just impressive. I kind of like it. I really like how it's doing that. Sift through there. Now I'm not sure what's going on, but I find that the sky textures are a lot more detailed as well, and just the general lighting just seems to be a lot nicer than what we've seen previously. especially in things like, for example, the its sort of predecessor FSX sort of things. A lot of people sort of saying, oh, it's just FSX, but you know, nothing else has been done to it. Yeah, no, there's other stuff's been done to it. You can really tell that the team has put a lot of work into this. You know, as I said, I'm really liking the look of some of the cloud and the sky textures. I think that this is looking absolutely outstanding. I really do think it looks outstanding, and stuff that, you know, for our older sims, we definitely have to sort of put some money down for if we actually want to be able to get this kind of quality. And this is all coming out of the box and looking amazing. So I definitely think that what we're seeing already is definitely something that's going to be doing us really well for the future. Drop my mixture down a bit as we climb here. Back towards nearly back on course there. So a bit of moisture that comes through clouds here now. Hopefully this is going to make a liar out of me like before. I said I did a couple of test flights before recording this video, and everything seemed to work with the moisture. But overall, I'm feeling that the aircraft designers, they've definitely gone back and looked over the aircraft that we've had before, and we've also gone through and got these new aircraft that really got a lot of quality and a lot of detail in these aircraft. We're actually making it very impressive that this is what's coming to us out of the box. Like, these are definitely payware quality aircraft that you're getting, and you're getting them as default aircraft, so definitely far more than what we got with the older sims, and it's a very impressive thing that we're getting from the development team here at Dovetail. And you can see that now we've we've exited the clouds, and we've risen above the cloud layer, and now we've lost the. We don't have the rain coming around the aircraft anymore. Though I said, like, it's working. Like, this is cool. This is good. This is really good at paying attention. Unfortunately, we do still have the northern latitude clouds, which is something that is a bit harder to get rid of. But anyway, but yeah, there you go. So yeah, as I said, it's really impressive, and I'm really impressed by how it actually is handling for this initial start here. Alright, now I'm going to trim this aircraft out a little bit. I think I should be above nearly above all of the things at the moment. Go a little bit higher. So I'm definitely liking the visuals of this new sim is definitely quite impressive for me. Now I'm going to cut the corner off my course here. I'm going to head straight towards our destination airport. Cut the corner off a little bit. The Garmin instrumentation, the instrumentation they put in here all seems to be very, very good. There is, at the moment, it looks like no flight manuals for the aircraft, so it is a bit of a hit and miss in some of the autopilot systems. I'm not used to, I'll be honest, so it took me a while to figure out. You get there in the end, but yeah, it is something that can catch you a little bit unaware if you're used to the sort of, like, you know, default radio, Bendix King radio stack here. It's because all the instrumentation here is Garmin. It's pretty much Garmin instrumentation here that's been modelled, so it's going to, yeah, if you're not used to the Garmin systems, it can catch you a little bit unawares like it did for me, but anyway. But yeah, as I said, overall, I'm really kind of impressed by the way it's all going here. This is good. Now we're just going to sit back for a moment and have a look at some of these beautiful visuals here. And you know what, I am going to set the autopilot for this one. Let's see if I can remember how to do this one. Okay, right. Autopilot on. autopilot set. So you definitely see that the visual quality of this is actually something, and we're just going to have, again, as we sort of look around the model of this aircraft as well. So the model is incredibly detailed. I really think that they've taken a lot of time and effort has gone into this modelling of this. As I said, the door animations are quite nice. Sometimes the animations can be a bit hit and miss and a bit weird from time to time, but again, work in progress, and I'm liking what I'm seeing overall so far. Yeah, and this is all just responding to track IR. Obviously, from here you can tell, I probably should have mentioned that, yes, I am using like track IR for this, no problem, working straight away for me without any sort of adjustments or anything like that. But what I will actually show you, because I just realised that I was talking about it before, so yeah, let's just try and open this door, shall we? Nope, can't do it. It's sort of, no, you can try, no, not going to let you. Again, that's cool. Like, you know, the previous sort of default aircraft and stuff like that would just be like, oh yeah, you want to open your door mid-flight, that's fine, no problems. And this one's like, no, there's high-speed air going past you. You're not doing that. That's not happening for you. That's not gonna happen. So that's like really cool and like, you know, really smart. And they're paying attention to stuff like that, and that's what I like. I like the fact that this sim does this. It's providing a lot more of the things that we wanted to have before that we just didn't get a chance to have before. And you know, so a lot of people are sort of saying, oh, but this is just going to be F6 with nothing, no real changes. It's like, yeah, that's changes already that we're seeing, the stuff that we didn't have before. So, and this is all just early access, guys. Remember this. This is just early access. So yeah, I really want to show this off. That this is cool. Alright, should I complete this flight or not? You know what, I'm going to complete this flight, but, you know, we're going to, but I am going to show off some of these other aircraft as well. We're going to do these couple of quick circuits in each of the aircraft. I'll do this is my full first impressions video. I'll whack up a circuit video of each of the other aircraft as well that I'll throw it together for you guys, so you guys can all watch those other aircraft as well. But we're going to concentrate this one on this aircraft. We've got a little airstrip down there as well. If that's my destination, let me have a look. Probably figure that out. Alright. Well, it's not, but you know what? Actually, this is actually giving me a good chance to show off something. Okay, this is actually good. I'm going to do this. Alright, so this is something that I'm not sure if I like or don't like, and it's something that we actually saw originally as part of flight school. So I'm going to throttle right down here and do things that I probably shouldn't do in an aeroplane. Spiral turn here. You hear the sounds of A2A's AccuFuel sort of kicking in as it's sort of like doing that and actually modelling that quite nicely. Really feeling it on the airframe as well, which is really cool. Like, again, I really like this. Descend below those clouds, and now we get the rain coming in again, which is always, it's got the modelling right. You don't have this rain above the clouds anymore like we used to get with other like in the older sim. In the older sim that is definitely being replaced now. Yeah, we didn't have this before. We had to get like third-party weather things to be able to get these features. All right. Here. 35 degrees. So the old Shift Z still works for a lot of that stuff now as well. Alright. I'm going to do a brief circuit for this one here as well. Mixture back up. speed down. Challenging approach, this one. And the flight dynamics really just feel so much more spot on than I've felt in any default aircraft of pretty much any sim out of all the ones that I fly in. Like, definitely this feels like it's the most spot on so far. Like, even the Cub feels like it's had an overhaul since the flight school sort of introduction to us from Dovetail there. I think it's really sort of just, you know, it's just had that sort of overhaul with this one. Actually, this gives me a really good chance to point out one of some of the bugs that I think the bugs still have. Windsocks are still black. Again, thing from flight sim, from flight school. The old, they were black, and yeah, that hasn't been fixed yet. Okay, so once you've finished a flight, once you're actually back down on the ground, it will remember it will note to you, just as you see there flashing up on the screen, how many hours or how many minutes you've flown for. And it will add that to your log. Now, in order to get any time logged, you need to actually land your aircraft on the ground. If you don't put your aircraft down on the ground safely, it will not be count towards your number of hours. So remember when we were doing the when you're doing the various license types, you have to build up some time in multiplayer or in solo flight to be able to before you can pass your license types, and this goes towards that. So just so you know, so there you go, and you can sort of work towards that. It shows how many hours you put up into the aircraft for your different aircraft types. All right, park our aircraft up here. Alright, so, now, this wasn't the... Now, the reason why I did this... This is the reason why I did this. Now, I'm just going to put my parking brake on. Shut our engine down. There we go. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Alright, so, why did I divert suddenly to this airport? Now, the reason is that this wasn't the airport that we put into our flight plan. Okay, we just sort of popped it in here and actually done this one. Now, this is what I want to show you. So we're going to end our flight here. So we go end flight, and we go, yep, cool, done. And there we go. Do you want to quit the flight? You go. So you can either continue it. So you can either continue and just start again, or you can continue on from where you are at the moment, or you can press the button here, back here, and go quit the flight. Yes. And it gives you this failed thing, and it's like, yeah, okay, well, I didn't get to the things on my flight plan, but, you know, that's a little annoying. Like, I don't know if that's necessary. Again, I pointed this out. It was a bugbear of mine in flight school, but, you know, and it's still here in Flight Sim World, so, I don't know. Who knows? Each to their own. Alright, and once you're done there, click that, continue, and you're done. that's it, and we're back to our screen where we can create our own flights. So there you go. So that is Flight Sim World. Now let's have another look at another free flight. Let's have a look. Now this is again a big opportunity. So I'll do some more videos with the other aircraft, but as I said, I want to get my first impressions one done here for now. First impressions overall is that graphically this is a beautiful looking sim. Quality of the models of the aircraft in here are absolutely phenomenal. They are incredibly detailed, incredibly amazing. The missions are not bad. Good selection, good variety, good stuff to put your skills through. The training, I still think the training is great because I think it's a great setup from the that we got from flight school that's been brought over here into Flight Sim World. So this is a really solid start. Like it said, it's early access. We've still got a long way to go. There's still a lot more of things to come. But this is a solid start. We've got some great graphical improvements, as we've already seen. We've got these beautiful high quality models already brought into it. This is a solid foundation, and that's what we need. We need to have a solid foundation. Yes, there is some legacy stuff in here, but we all need to start somewhere. We all need to sort of start somewhere, and being able to start on a proven platform and take it further than ever before is what it's going to be about. So this is going to evolve. This is a long-term project. This is going to evolve many different ways in many different paths, probably paths that nobody's thought of yet. But we need a solid base to get started, and that's what we really have a wonderful opportunity to have here, to get in and be involved in that entry-level base. So that's what's really important about this, that we give it a chance, that we support it to actually help drive it and make it this amazing experience. Are there bugs? Yes. But this is an early access. This is a beta, alpha, beta bordering on an alpha in some ways. Are we going to find issues with it? Yes. Is that a problem? No. Now, the reason why I say it's not a problem is that as long as we take on the responsibility that we are being given by accepting this title as early access, that we have a huge responsibility to shape this title, to shape the future of what we want Flight Sim World to be. The way I see it, we have two options. That we all have two options. We have two choices here. We can either stand on the sidelines, as unfortunately many people have already decided to do over the last 3 weeks since this was announced. Without this even being released, it's only being released right now as early access, and yet for the last 3 weeks since the first announcement, people have been rubbishing this title and moaning and bitching and whining, and it's so frustrating because it's like, okay, where's something constructive here? They just want to put people down to make themselves feel better. Please don't fall into that category, because that category is how passions die. The other part you can fall into is that we can accept this as an early access title and accept that there are going to be bugs, that there are things that we want that are not there. But what we have to do is we have to embrace that, and embrace the responsibility, and embrace the opportunity that we are being given to actually feed that commentary, feed the positives, and be constructive, and go back to Dovetail and say, this is a great start. This is where we would like it to see. This is what we would like to see developed. We would like to see this here, or we would like to see less of that. Okay, big fundamental launch issue that I have, and the video is going to be playing here in the background now, is the fact that at night there is no landing lights. the landing lights are fitted on the aircraft, they work, but they don't project anything on the ground, so you're landing in pitch dark. That's really bad, and that's something that needs to be developed, and we need to give that feedback. We need to provide that feedback. It's been unequivocally heard that everybody wants airliners in here, and we know that Dovetail have plans for that because they've already got official licensing agreements with both Boeing and Airbus. They are the first company to ever get an official license from Airbus to release their product. Like, that's a huge deal, guys. That's a huge deal. So we're going to see this in the future. But we're not going to see it right now. No, we're not. But we're going to see it in the future as this title develops. So let's embrace the opportunity that we have. Embrace the abilities that we have, that we can become part of the future of flight simulation, and be positive and give constructive feedback. Alright folks, so this has been my first impressions video of Flight Sim World, available now on Steam as early access. The link to the store page will be in the description down below. Please remember that this is an early access title, so we are going to see bugs, we are going to find issues, and report the bugs and be constructive in your feedback, please. That's the only thing I ask of you all, is be constructive. Alright folks, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much to Dovetail Games for creating a Flight Sim World, and thank you very much to them for providing me an access to a copy of this so I can share my experiences with you guys. As I say guys, this has been my first video. I will be releasing several more over the next few hours and few days. There is going to be, I'm going to do a quick circuit video for each of the aircraft available here in Flight Sim World. I will also be releasing a quick little developers cliff notes video as well for that, and that one will probably be a day or two away, but I will be releasing that. So folks, thank you very much for joining me on this first impressions video. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.